So, CorOS 3.3.0 just released a couple of hours ago for the Quad Cortex. And what more convenient timing than when I'm in the middle of taking some PTO, as well as university being on a holiday break, to really get to deep dive into this. So, upon first checkout, I kind of just scrolled through real quick looking for that ever coveted plugin drop. Doesn't look like we're getting that. And I think, I saw somewhere online that there was no planned plugin for this anyway, so maybe hoping for a surprise. So then, after I skimmed through it, I kind of like, oh, that's, a bit of a bummer, but whatever. I did notice the mono synth from the Rabi plugin is added into this. So that's always a good quote unquote time waster for me. And then I kind of scrolled back up saying, okay, let me go through and see what's really new. So this neural capture v2 really caught my eye. So I guess before I jump into my background of it, it's saying that it's more detailed, higher resolution, greater dynamic accuracy for things that are more touch sensitive, such as fuzzes, compressors, responsive amplifiers. So one of the biggest, reservations I've seen regarding Quad Cortex has been lack of fuzzes, and then my own personal, kind of gripe with it when I first got it. About 2 years ago now, went through, profiled the whole amp collection, and then the legendary Fortin Meshuggah here really just fell completely short. Didn't really sound, as expected. Completely desaturated. Basically, sounded like rolled your guitar almost the volume on the guitar almost all the way off when you played through it. So this sounds like it's perfect for me to get Fortin Meshuggah into the Quad Cortex. Yes, the Fortin Nameless X plugin is intended to do the same thing. But if you're a snob, or you have some other device like the Fortin Meshuggah that doesn't have that kind of representation, then this will hopefully act as a good solution. So now just want to demonstrate that difference. So I've made up a quick patch here. So in scene B, this is the old capture that I did. So it's Fortin Meshuggah Live. So for that, I went to the Fortin Meshuggah manual. I ripped out the live settings here. I don't have a Fortin 33, so that's, I guess, excluded from this capture. So, maybe not fully representative. But I do have, the Peppers Dirty Tree, and did do a capture of that in the DT mode. But I guess for purposes of this video, I'm just going to leave it as the raw amp. So I guess using the Fortin Nameless as kind of the baseline, I'll riff around on that a little bit. Okay, so right, pretty solid high gain tone off the bat there, and then going to and that's honestly for intents and purposes of, do I want that in the Quad Cortex? Close enough. Now going to capture I did with the V1, approximately 2 years ago, using same amp settings. Right, so it sounds like you're on a crunch mode of an amplifier rather than really getting that highly saturated high gain. So let's just jump right in and give this new neural capture a shot. So we've got neural capture 1 and 2. So we'll do version 2. Immediately we can hear some of the gaininess coming through of the Fortin Meshuggah as it's live now. Um, and okay, so guitar is already plugged into 1. I've already got my headphones plugged in here. Capture out's already going to the Fortin Meshuggah, and then it's coming back from 2 Notes load box, not applying any kind of cab emulation. So let's just turn on that cab sim real quick, and then we can hear it. So that is the live Fortin Meshuggah. So ground lifts, aren't really doing anything. So that noise is just kind of there. It is, running pretty hot. So yeah. So now let's go through and start the capture, and I do want to get some information on just how long this whole process starts. So I'll do fill in metadata. So I'll call this Fortin Meshuggah Live Capture V2. This is for guitar. It's just an amp. Start capture. So this is stated to be a longer process than the normal capture process. So rather than applying, I guess, the overall model fitting algorithms on the hardware inherently, it offloads them to the cloud to process. One of the interesting things that or one of the things of interest, in people that are doing this more frequently than me, I think is going to be just how essential that physical connection from the Quad Cortex to a computer is. So personally, like every time I've tried to download one of the Quad Cortex updates, like over Wi-Fi onto the Quad Cortex, it's always fell over. It even happened this morning as I was doing it. Because of weak Wi-Fi signal, even though no other device in my place has had that issue. And then fine going to the computer. So I don't know necessarily if that's like a common thing or not. But it'll certainly be interesting. I guess this overall process and just using the Quad Cortex's Wi-Fi connection inherently, and how much that alters the speed of this. So right now we're about 2 minutes in, still 60% through doing the initial recording, and then when it gets onto the training part of it, I'll do a lap on the timer just so we can get a gauge of how much each part in this process really takes. So I know I had a Kemper, God, 6 years ago, something like that. And from my recollection, I think by now, the profiling would have mostly been done. Um, so that is one of the I guess trade-offs of this kind of approach to it. Okay, so recording pending. just at about the 3 minute mark. So now at this point, I think it's, yep, so it's uploaded to Cortex Cloud. Now it's doing whatever training it's doing on its models there. Oh, forgot to hit the lap button, so we'll give it back a couple more seconds when it gets through that. So it is, I guess, progressing a little pretty decently, I suppose. Still, at least compared to my experiences with the Kemper stuff and even the fractal stuff very briefly when the AxeFX 2 was kind of their flagship. This is much more lengthy process, and um, if it, I guess the if you're concerned over that detail, then who's to say which is better? But this is certainly a longer process, probably by an order of magnitude of minutes, in the way that this V2 process is going. Probably approaching the same amount of time now in which it's training, in which the initial capture um, took, and it's only 50% done, and then actual time marker itself is 6 minutes. Um, so this is definitely going to be, if you're doing this process, if you're in your own studio application, you go in, you kick this off, go make a cup of coffee. If I have a break like this, I'd like to go into the other room, lift some weights. Definitely don't want to spend it, idle, kind of just staring at the screen like I'm doing now. And then I suppose if the results still aren't good, there's some other stuff to check out just to try and get this model accuracy a little bit better. I guess capture accuracy a little bit better. So, namely looking at the different impedances. Although I really don't think, at least for this amp specifically or this setup specifically, that that's going to be overall too impactful. That's, I think, mostly going to be for the more vintage style fuzzes that really, their behavior really is impacted by the different impedances that are seen. just hit about 5 minute mark for this training process. Again, compared to normal capture mark that took about 3 minutes. It's pretty close to wrapping up now too. Okay, so at 100, gonna start another lap. So now it's probably coming down back off their servers to bring the capture back down onto the Quad Cortex. Still have the timer going since I'm still not in a play state with the Quad Cortex. Okay, there we go. So 9.5 minutes overall. So now we get to live AB it. I'm gonna set it to bounce back and forth 2 seconds. So right, first impression, like this is great. It's uh to my ears like pretty dead on. The neural capture might be a tad bit brighter, but it gets me 95% of the way there. So yeah, uh, V2 capture, 9.5 minutes all in all to take. So great if you've got these devices that you can't live without. Um, Let me give this a save. Then we can exit, and then let's drop it in. So Fortin live capture v2, and then we can A/B it using the same cab sim as Fortin nameless and see how they change. Now to the nameless. So, at least if you're considering Fortin nameless, there it is stacked up against capture um, of the real thing. So, hopefully this video helps with comparing the different capture types with a device that is specifically, I guess, picky against them. And then I will be uploading this uh, profile or capture, whatever the Quad Cortex or Neural DSP, formal name for it is, onto my Quad Cortex account. Um, I believe it's JF06, but I will be sure to provide link in the description if you are interested in this capture. Thanks.